Hello, I am Vernay from Vernay and Ryan's MJJ5 Fanatics channel here on YouTube. I am solo again today. This is a personal story way before I met Ryan, so Ryan won't be joining me today, but I promise you he will be back to do more stories, specifically about the Jacksons and the Jackson 5. So my topic for today is why VH1 gives me a special thank you in the credits of their show, The Fabulous Life of Michael Jackson. So my maiden name is Vernay Lewis. So when the show is ending, right at the very end, before it goes to black, you see special thanks to Vernay Lewis. So I am going to tell you how that happened and why that happened. First, let me give you a little history that led us to that point. So back in 2003, I was the chapter leader, technically I still am, for King of Pop Fanatics East Coast chapter. At the time, VH1 was working on the show Fabulous Life of Michael Jackson. And because we were local, because I was the East Coast chapter, they reached out to us to meet with them in New York as a group so they can ask us questions, so we can talk about Michael. I don't know how they found me specifically. I don't know if they were recommended. I don't know how they found me specifically, but they did. So a group of us went to one of the music-themed restaurants. I don't know if it was Hard Rock, Motown Cafe, I don't know. But one of those music-themed restaurants, we met VH1, and we had a nice luncheon, and they were asking us, questions about our experiences with Michael, being fans, and things like that. I don't remember the specific details about all the questions, but I just remember there was a group of us there. I do believe that my friend Pete Carter was present. I feel like he danced for them at some point. It could be all in my imagination, but I feel like Pete did some sort of Michael-y thing there for that particular lunch. So when we were all finished, VH1, paid the bill for all of us, which was nice. And they were finished with the footage. We all went on our merry ways. Now, I don't know if it was a few days or a few weeks, but at some point VH1 reached back out to me and let me know that they were not going to use the footage that we recorded at the restaurant. Womp, 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 womp. So they said that the show was taking a different direction. However, they still needed our help. So they wanted to know, check this question out. Can we borrow some of your Michael Jackson stuff? In fact, would you pack it up and ship it to New York so that we can borrow it? So all of a sudden I went deaf, and I was like, huh? Because I know they didn't just ask me that question, pack Michael Jackson stuff up and send it away from myself. Not happening, Captain. So I was like, I'm sorry, what? So she was like, well, we need, just some quick flashes of some merchandise throughout the show. And we were wondering if you would help us by sending us a few things. You can pick the items, but we definitely need some ticket stubs as well. So here's the thing. There's a lot of Michael Jackson stuff that's hard to find, but it's not impossible. So if you lose something or something happens, there's always a chance and a possibility that you can find it again. It's hard. Some things that may seem impossible, but there is always the slight chance that you can find it again. But when they ask for my ticket stubs are very personal because it's my seat from the concert that I went to. And that's it. There's only that one. So I can't get a replica of it. So when she asked for that, I really thought this lady is losing her mind if she thinks I'm going to, participate in this. Somehow I let them talk me into it, And so I picked some items like a doll and I don't even remember now, but it was a box full of stuff. I wrote everything down like she told me to, and I put it in the box, and she said she would do an inventory before she sent it back. They would reimburse me for my shipping, all that stuff. And she said, you have my number. If anything happens, you know where to find me. So I finally agreed, and I sent the stuff. So when The Fabulous Life of Michael Jackson aired, they actually used some of my stuff in the show. So the way the show is set up, it's kind of like a lifestyles of the rich and famous, but for music artists. Well, it was at the time. It kind of ventured off into actors and all that stuff. So, but it talks about their spending habits, their income, their multiple houses, cars, whatever. So there were certain segments where they wanted to just kind of plug in some, Michael material. So one of the things that they picked was these little vintage Michael pocketbooks, like little children's purses. So I'm going to show you the screenshot from when they use it. And it's a number across, like 3 million or 300,000 or something, because as the show is going on, they're talking about Michael's money and how he made his money. And these pocketbooks flash up in the middle of that conversation. And then you'll see in my screenshot the number go across it. So check that out. Cool, right? So another thing they used was my vintage Michael Jackson record player. Just about every Michael Jackson fan has one at some point. They used that in the show as well, and they also flashed that across the screen, which you'll see in the next shot. So check that out now. And finally, when they're talking about the category called debt, and they start talking about how Michael spent his money and lawsuits, and they mention something about him getting into battles with tour promoters. And once they say tour promoters, they show my ticket stubs. So they showed, it looks like a whole bunch of them, but it's really just these three. But the one that they focused on is this one. I hope you can see. Don't worry if you can't see it, because I took a still shot that I'll show you in a few minutes. So they showed that, and you can compare the seat and everything to the screenshot that I'm going to show you. So these were the ticket stubs they used. I had also sent my ticket stubs for the Germany concert, What More Can I Give, but they didn't use that one. They only used this one for the sake of the show. So check that out really fast. So out of the whole box that I sent, those were the only 3 items that they selected. It might be some other things in the show. If it is, they don't belong to me. Those are the only things. I know it was a Michael shirt in there and maybe a couple other things, but these are the only 3 things from that show that were my personal property. The show itself went on to have like 6 or 7 seasons, and Michael was in season 1. So it became a very successful show, and it's an honor to say that I was a part of it in the beginning. But actually, so were a few of my other friends. My girlfriend Rebecca Reza has her name in the credits. Pete Carter has his name in the credits. Navi is in the credits, and Navi is also in the show when they're talking about Michael having a body double and some of the things that Navi had to do. So the other day on Facebook, in preparation for this video, I did post a link to the full show, or so I thought, but that link is actually missing the first segment. So once I post this video on YouTube and it's ready to go, I will put the full link back on Facebook so you can go watch the show if you've never seen it. It's really cool, It starts off really weird about Michael putting a curse on somebody, but after that, it gets normal again. But it was an honor for me to do that, and obviously all my stuff got back to me safely, and they covered the cost of it and everything, and it was just a really great experience. And they also sent me a copy of the show to have. It's on VHS, because back then that was the thing. But it was a great experience. Now, having said all of that, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook and you follow my YouTube schedule, you'll know that this whole thing was totally wrong. Today was actually supposed to be about my experience working for Michael's 45th birthday party, which is a party that he actually attended. And I was going to talk all about that. And I did all my screenshots for this. I took all my pictures, did all my prep work, and I sat down and I jotted out my script, and then I looked at my schedule and I was like, oh, this wasn't supposed to be today. But I was already prepared. So I'll just switch this out, and then Wednesday will be my experience working for the 45th birthday. So I apologize for the mix-up. I had already started advertising for this topic on YouTube. I don't know what happened, but somehow I just was so sure that this was next. So next on Wednesday, it will be my experience working for Michael's 45th birthday party and how that all came to be and how that went down. So thank you so much for tuning in to my little VH1 story. I hope you found it a little exciting, a little intriguing, or not. But anyway, thank you, and I will see you next time. And Ryan will definitely be back very soon, and he sends his love. Bye-bye.